It's the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast, where I go and look at lone plays and strategies specifically designed for GPPs. This is a show for people who are already informed on daily fantasy sports science contests. Operate. If you got any questions, feel free to shoot them my way at BrandonCruzDFS on Twitter if they're not dumb questions. And other than that, take everything with a grain of salt and use your best judgment when making entries. Additionally, if you have a gambling addiction, that is just not my problem. Check your sensitive feelings at the door. Let's get right into it. We're talking about the truckers at Las Vegas Truckers, as Michael Waltrip gets into. Let's talk about the contest really quick this week. As I've said before, this is basically the $8 contest for the Truck Series podcast, because that's really the only one worth playing. Although, since the Truck Series is not competing with the NFL this weekend, it has gotten a bit bigger. $10,000 to first in the Truck Series $8 contest. The 33 isn't as bad. I don't remember what it was these last couple of weeks fighting the NFL. I still wish these contests were better, but it could be worse. Could be worse. We have seen worse. So the $8 one isn't as bad. I just want to say, first and foremost, I wish, like, a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid or somebody would use their power and wish a good contest on DraftKings. Let me throw this out there. I wish some kid would come up and be like, listen, I'm going to die. Please fulfill my dying wish and make a good contest. Let's say, for example, if you took the Millionaire Maker, I understand the whole point of that stupid contest is to advertise it to where you can win $1 million. All you gotta do is pick the best lineup, blah, blah, blah. But let's just say, for example, if they took that $4 million purse and just spread it out, what if instead of $1 million to first, what if it was like $5,000 to first? And then they paid out like 45% of the contest with that $4 million. I guarantee you, people would stick around for those contests more than they do this, because we're in week 3 at the NFL. We're in week 3 of the NFL. I'm pretty sure soon. I mean, week 1 to week 5 is where all the new casuals stick around, and they either choose to stay or leave. I think it's in DraftKings and FanDuel's best interest to make contests that pay better than, 27, 26, 25%. And it's crazy being a guy who's been around playing for the last few years. I remember when contests used to pay out top 33, top 35, top 31, and then it was like, oh man, they're getting bolder, paying out the top 27. Well, now we can't even get a contest that pays out the top 25 unless it's like a beginner's contest. It's stupid, man. It's stupid. I would happily win. I would happily play in contests that paid less to first and just better throughout. I mean, look, I'd rather do that. I just think that'd be more fun. It's ridiculous seeing this NASCAR Truck Series contest. First place gets 25% of the purse, and the top 10 gets 50% of the purse. I mean, man, that's jank, man. That's jacked up. At least it's paying out 23% this weekend. Let's get right into it here. Let's just talk about predicted lineups, okay? We're going to talk about the guys and everything, don't worry. I just want to say predicted lineups. Austin Hill, Brent Moffitt. I imagine they're going to be in every single lineup, and if they're not in every single lineup, it's for 2 reasons. 1, people don't know what they're doing. 2, you're hoping that one of these guys busts, something doesn't go their way, yada, yada, yada. But if everything works out the way everything should in a green flag race that should be green with, some errors here and there by drivers, but it should be green. Brent Moffitt and Austin Hill should be optimal. Brent Moffitt should easily lead the race. Austin Hill should finish second, maybe lead some of the laps at some point. That's how I assume most people are going to start their lineups. That leaves you an average of $7,050 to add the 4 remaining drivers to your lineup. That's the main, that's the secret this week for this race. Who are the other 4 guys you're going to go over? So I'm going to talk about that. Before we get into that, just remember, go to racefortheprice.com to get the fancy NASCAR spreadsheet that I'm using and that you need to be using as well. In this part of the year where we have every sport around MLB, NHL, NFL, NBA, all of them are playing right now. You don't have time to waste looking at Truck Series stats, looking at Truck Series research. It doesn't, you don't have the time. You got to work. You got your stupid kid under e-learning. I mean, that has to be a living hell. You guys got a lot going on. You don't have time to do research, go to racefortheprize.com to get the fancy NASCAR spreadsheet that has everything already there. Projections, optimizer, race history, race ratings, lap data, track data, everything all in one location, racefortheprize.com. Looking at the Q order here, let's just go through who I'd like, just so you have an idea of my player pool, then I'll break down other people. So I like Brett Moffitt, I like Enfinger, like Creed, like Smith, like Crafton, like Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes, Johnny Sauter, Kraus, Rafael Lessard, possibly Chase Purdy, Stuart Friesen, Bond, Anderson, possibly Nelly Decker, Ryan Truex, Austin Wayne Self, possibly Daly, possibly Cobb, possibly Pastrana, possibly Awuji, possibly Cram, possibly Lupton. Those are the main guys I'm going to focus on. Let's just use my predicted lineup as what we're talking about. So you have Austin Hill and Moffitt in your lineups, leaves you $7,000. So what are the people that I assume people are going to play? I assume the chalk's going to be around. I assume people are going to be like, oh, I need a value play. Let's go and check the bottom of this. So let's see, you need 7,000. Let me just set this up right fast. So I'm a casual. Pick Brett Moffitt, Austin Hill, $7,000 left. Okay, now I got to go find value. Jennifer Jo Cobb has been an interesting case this year compared to what she normally does. She's been starting very well, despite the fact finishing pretty bad. I think it's just her owner points that keep her starting 28th. I mean, if it was up to what that car could do, she would be starting 34th, 35th. $4,700. Do you need a punt this week? Possibly. I can't tell if that punt needs to be under 5,000, if it needs to be under 5,500, if it needs to be under 6. I assume it's gonna need to be under 6. Probably Dawson, Cram, Fulkerman, Spoyd, Iwuji, Greenfield, Veens, Cicerelli, Decker, and Cobb would be the people that are in the punt range this weekend. How many of these do you need? Is it worth punting down to Cobb and Decker? I see my lineups approaching one of two ways. One, I either punt down at Cobb, Decker, even Cicerelli or Veens, and I'll talk more about the latter two in a minute, but I either punt down at 5,100, 5,000, 4,800, or 4,700, or I don't pay down on the way, but I still take a risky punt play, either Jesse Wuji or Dawson Cram. I don't see the point in playing Fogelman. I don't see the point in playing Greenfield. I don't see the point in playing Spencer Boyd. Fogelman should carry ownership. They have been performing well in that car, no lie. He is starting 19th. He has been, let me check this out. Fogelman, his last 5 finishes, this is including Bristol, Richmond, Darlington, Gateway, and Dover, 22nd, 15th, 15th, 18th, and 27th. Last time we went to a cookie cutter racetrack like this was the 2 Kansas races. He finished 17th and 22nd, finished 32nd at Texas, 21st at Kentucky earlier this year, finished 32nd at Atlanta earlier this year, 30th at Charlotte, and then 19th at Vegas earlier in the year. I'm guessing he's the chalk play. I'm guessing most of the ownership is going to be around Fogelman. The reason I'm hesitant to play him is because, 1, the ownership, and 2, I would just rather be on the road of that he busts, or that he doesn't work out, or that something happens to him, because I look at it as am I betting Fogelman or am I betting the field? I'm going to bet the field. I'm going to assume the vast majority of the drivers outscore Fogelman, or Fogelman has a bad day, like I just said, like he busts or something. I just don't want to be on the Fogelman bandwagon. Anytime he's in a chalky position, $1,500, he should be able to, let's say if everything goes well, he should finish around 17th. That's not bad at all for $5,800, but the ownership, he's going to be around 30%, maybe even 35%, and if something bad happens to him, that kills a lot of good lineups, and we don't have to worry about it. The reason I'm curious to use Jesse Iwuji is, look, I think he's a joke. not about his career path. I just don't like the guy. Okay, I think Iwuji's a bad driver and a joke, but he has sponsorship this weekend. He can't lose you a whole lot of position. He's starting 31st. If you look at the three races he's ran this year, Charlotte finished 39th. Finished 28th at Pocono, finished 22nd at Michigan. He's ran a few other Xfinity Series races this weekend, so he isn't coming in here just, naked. He has some type of experience this year. I at least want to see that through Jesse Iwuji. He typically does better if he's usually at the end of the year when he's been in and out of a car at some point, if he has track time. Him being sponsored, I know he's in, I think he's in 00. Let me look here. Hold on a minute. Jesse Iwuji is in the 33. That car has, let me look right fast here. I believe that is the start and park from Reum. Let's see, it parked at Bristol, ran the full race at Richmond, got wrecked at Darlington, ran the full race at Gateway, had trouble at Dover. Let me see, and then they have the 00. I just want to compare this right fast. I did last week, comparing what if it's the zero who start. Yeah. So 33 is their typical start and park for Josh Reum, and for that group. Now he's bringing sponsors in. I mean, go ahead and look at that truck for Jesse Iwuji. That's more sponsors than they normally have on that car. I have to assume that they will run it. I have to assume that they're going to at least try. Now, if they have a mechanical failure, I can't help that at all. But let's see. I mean, Iwuji has Wakanda Forever on the back. That's not a whole lot. But looking at all the crap on the side of this truck, mile marker, DSS Incorporated, Visual Connections, Truster, Racing Association, a couple other sponsors, got a crap load of stickers all over this truck. I mean, this is sponsored to me. Look, I think Iwuji tries to run the full race, and I think he does all right. That's why I'm interested in him. The other person I was looking at is Dawson Cram. I wanted to focus on him. He's in the 41 now. I know I'm going to have to do some convincing here. I understand, but I think Dawson Cram is a great play. I think this is a good truck. They've had a lot of bad luck. Let's focus on the last 3 races that this 41 truck has ran. And remember, Dawson Cram has only had this truck for about 5 total races as owning the truck, so he's had some problems here. But we're just going to focus on the last 3 races here. Dawson Cram at Darlington had a beautiful throwback scheme. Was sponsored. Whack the wall. Had to bring it in. Didn't want to destroy the car anymore, but he hit the wall pretty hard at Darlington. Didn't show it on the broadcast. Nobody showed it. You just have to find this crap on Twitter. I believe at Richmond, that was before. At Richmond, Ryan Huff was driving it. It was unsponsored. It struggled, but it finished the race. It did 217 laps out of 250. It didn't finish the race, but it went laps down. They were trying to repair it, came back out, yada yada yada. Actually, I'm looking at Blicky's. Oops. At Richmond, they did 239. Sorry, I'm switching back between race and reference in my notes here. They did 239 laps at Richmond, ran the full race, just got lapped. They struggled, finished 28th, started 35th. Now, at Bristol, Cody Eckerson, was fully, and I mean fully sponsored at Bristol. Nobody said anything about this on the broadcast. Very quiet on social media, but this truck was fully sponsored with Cody Eckerson's sponsor that he brought on the truck. The main problem was they couldn't get the car fired. They couldn't get the truck fired on time. They missed the start of the race, went 15 laps down at Bristol. But that 41 truck had very, very fast lap times. I don't have it up right now because, it's Bristol. It's not that important. But looking at the lap times during the race, because I was paying attention to this fully sponsored car that nobody was talking about, he was running very competitive laps, only went an additional 3 laps down over the course of that whole race after missing the initial 15. That's better than other trucks who ran the full race. I think this truck had around top 22 lap times, maybe even top 20 in lap times. They just weren't able to start the race. That's why they missed it. Dawson Cram is back in this truck this weekend. $6,000 for a truck starting 33rd, and a truck that I believe is a top 22, top 20 truck. Look, I'm probably gonna be on the Dawson Cram bandwagon, but that's just me. I do have an issue with the price. I think $6,000 is a bit high. I think this requires an above average performance by him, so don't play him thinking, oh, he just needs to finish 28th or something. Negative, no go. He needs to get a top 20 here. I think that truck can do it. They just need to avoid mechanical failures. And I think this is the same situation as we saw with Tommy J. Martins earlier in the year, starting his own team, run with his own car, going to run into some issues here and there. Darn shame the thing did not start at Bristol. But now that I got that out of the way, that's the main punt plays. Nally Decker and Jennifer Jo Cobb. I mean, would I rather play Fogelman starting 19th at $5,800 or Decker starting 23rd at $4,800? I think they're the same driver. I really do. Nally Decker has been performing horrible, just absolutely atrocious lately. So that's scary. Jennifer Jo Cobb, same deal, same song and dance. That's why I'm hesitant to run with that. Clay Greenfield starting 22nd. They've ran well over the past couple races, but we've been at flat tracks, we've been at short tracks. I mean, at 1.5 miles, this is where the teams behind these cars really show up. That's why I only have about 4 guys in this chase or in this punt category that I want to look at. Let's continue looking through the field. Going up, let's look at the other 2 elephants in the room. Travis Pastrana and Connor Daly. Now, get ready to hear a lot about Travis Pastrana. Oh man, I don't remember what his ownership was last time he ran at. Was it Kansas or Kentucky? It was the doubleheader. So that was Kansas. So Travis Pastrana is hopping in here. Personally, I think Travis Pastrana is a good driver. I think he's one of the best drivers that's ever lived on the planet. He just needs more experience on the ovals. He's starting 29th. If you look at his last race, he wrecked, went a lap down, but finished 22nd out of sheer luck. And, I mean, sheer just determination to not quit. And because they had that big pileup in turns 1 and 2 that he missed, I think that's his ceiling. Look, he's in a good car. He's in a good truck. He's in the iRacing thing, and he actually really enjoys Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is where he's made most of his starts since exiting that Xfinity ride, like from about 8 years ago or whatnot. He's come in and ran Las Vegas a few times. If you look at Travis Pastrana's history here, since leaving Xfinity Series, I believe he ran it in 2017, finished 22nd. He finished 22nd at Kansas. I think, 22nd, 23rd is his ceiling. So while, look, he's great for real life racing, I don't think he's viable as a DFS option this week. Connor Daly, the IndyCar driver. Now, I feel like I'm in like early 2000, like really early 2000 with all these IndyCar guys coming over and racing here for fun. I mean, we got James Davison in the Cup Series. We got Connor Daly here. I mean, like, it's freaking weird, man. These guys are coming out of freaking nowhere. I mean, Connor Daly's doing this because he wants to try it out. That's basically what he said. He said himself that it's basically been, this whole thing, how it came together, has just been completely random. He's just going to be in the right place at the right time. And he's just looking to go out there and have some oval experience in the truck series. 27th at $7,600. Even if it's a Nice Motorsports truck, that is hard, man. I mean, look, if Travis Pastrana, who has amazing car control, and everybody's going to be like, oh, he sucks in NASCAR. No, he doesn't suck. He was just rushed through. If you spend your entire life getting cars sideways with rallycross racing, with rally racing, that is drilled into your mind, and doing that in oval is bad, and he just hasn't had that experience. I think Connor Daly is going to be the same way. I know he comes from IndyCar. I know, but I don't like Connor Daly at all. I'd much rather play Ryan Truex in another Nice Motorsports car, and I think he's going to go overlooked, seeing that either casuals or people are going to want to play Tanner Gray around that same price range. They're going to see Travis Pastrana, Connor Daly. I like that. I like Ryan Truex. I like Rafael Lessard. I like Friesen, because those three guys I just listed off, 7,700, 7,900, 8,100, can easily fit in your lineups with Brett Moffitt and Austin Hill. And I'm not sure people are going to go there. Chase Purdy, interesting play here in the GMS machine. Let me just make sure he's in the GMS vehicle here. Chase 24. Yeah, he's in the GMS. It's well, does GMS just have 3 cars here this weekend? They do. They just have 3 cars. Interesting. I could have swore they had more, but I guess they do not. Oh no, yeah, they do. They do have the 4. Right? Creed, Moffitt, Chase, Anchor. Okay, yeah, whatever. Chase, I think he's a bit too cheap. Hopefully everybody else just chases these guys, and or hopefully everybody else chases Travis Pastrana, Connor Daly, and just leaves us to use Chase Purdy as we see fit. I don't mind him as well. Let me see. What was I going to mention around Chase? $6,400. I know he struggled at Pocono and Kentucky earlier in the year, but 17th and 10th at Kansas. The last time he went to a track like this is what I want to see. He had top 17 speed in the first Kansas race, top 10 speed in the second one. Look, I like Chase Purdy a lot. $6,400. If anything, I would imagine that Brett Moffitt, Austin Hill, and Chase Purdy are going to be the foundation for most lineups. And it's a hard argument to make to not go there, and because of how lineup construction is going to go this week, I think you'll need one punt. I think you only need one guy under, like I said, $5,500, maybe $6,000, depending on how you want to go about it. But you shouldn't need to just go bottom of the barrel, and then use whoever you want after that. Dylan Lupton is in the DGR Crosley car this week that has been very fast with David Reagan behind the wheel. Look, if you got the money and can afford Dylan Lupton, I say go for it. I don't mind that at all. $9,300 for a kick-ass team, for a kick-ass car, for a car that should be fast, for a car that should have top 10 speed. I think he's way too cheap. I think he needs to be at least $10,000. Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, look, mess around with your core plays, mess around with the values. Look, I don't know. I can't say any more other than giving out just the plays that I like. I've already talked enough about, the value guys that I like, the people I'm going to put attention to. But Johnny Sauter starting 13th should be very low owned. Todd Gillen, I don't see a reason to use him. Should be extremely low owned. Other guys that I see being extremely low owned that could be viable. Maybe Austin Wayne Self starting 26th. Could be. I think that's about it. I think I've covered everything I wanted to look at. Thank you guys for listening. Xfinity video will be up probably right after this one is uploaded. So go ahead and check that out. And thank you guys for listening. Good luck this weekend.